Before the world had structure, before sky arched over land or sea lapped against the shore, there was a place not born of balance, but of sheer absence. Where Gaia gave form and Uranus gave reach, Tartarus gave depth, unfathomable, echoing depth. It was not a place one could walk to, nor a pit one could fall into. It was a condition of existence, a cosmic underside, the very concept of beneath, etched into the fabric of the universe. Tartarus did not rise, it descended, and it kept descending through silence, through shadow, beyond the grip of starlight. If Gaia was the world, then Tartarus was its negation, a chasm not filled, but yearning to remain empty. It did not tremble or rage. Its stillness was more terrifying than storm. Here the laws of above no longer applied. Time slowed, sound warped, thought stretched like thin cloth over a void. Some say Tartarus was a deity, others a place. The truth is, it was both. It was willful nothingness, a pit with a soul, and it had purpose. For when Gaia birthed her many children, the Titans, the Cyclopes, the 100-handed ones, not all were meant for Olympus or the lands above. The 100-handers were the first to feel the betrayal. Towering beings of unmeasured strength, born with 50 heads and 100 arms each, they terrified Uranus. Their power was too raw, too unfiltered, so he cast them not into ocean or forest, but into Tartarus. Imagine their descent, not falling, but being pulled, dragged by the will of their own father, swallowed into darkness that did not echo their screams. Their cries dissolved like whispers into the abyss, and there, in Tartarus, they waited. The Cyclopes followed, single-eyed smiths with fire in their veins and lightning in their palms. Uranus feared them too. Their gifts were too potent. Into the abyss they went, into Tartarus, where their fires flickered against the oppressive gloom, struggling not just for warmth, but for memory. This was Tartarus's second truth. It did not merely contain, it erased. The Titans remained above for now, unaware that their time too would come. But deep in the heart of the abyss, Tartarus held its prisoners in silence. There were no chains. It didn't need them. The weight of emptiness was enough to pin even the strongest down. Still, Tartarus was more than prison. It was the undercurrent of all fear, the place the gods would not name casually. When poets spoke of it, they used metaphors. The dark beneath the root of the world, the second womb of chaos, the mouth of non-being. Even Gaia could not reach it fully. She, who had formed plains and mountains, could not touch the bottom of Tartarus. She could feel it faintly, as one might feel a headache brewing. She wept for her children thrown into it, but her grief could not breach its walls. The gap between sorrow and salvation was Tartarus itself. And yet the abyss had watchers. Nyx in her wanderings skirted its edges. Erebus sometimes whispered across its mouth. But neither entered, none did, save those who had no choice. Here in its depths, time sat still. Ages passed in the world above, stars formed, gods rose. But down here, a second might stretch into centuries. And as the cosmos bloomed, Tartarus remained the wound that would never heal. Yet it would be needed again. For the story of Cronus, of his rise and his eventual fall, would circle back to Tartarus. When the war of gods and titans would erupt, the Titanomachy, Tartarus would swell again with prisoners. The very titans who once ruled would be hurled into the depths, their thrones shattered, their legacies abandoned. And Tartarus would welcome them without judgment, without anger. It did not choose sides, it simply received. For that is the role of the abyss, to be there when the powerful fall, And beyond even that, in future epochs, new horrors would slither into being. Typhon, monstrous child of Gaia, would rise, and when he was defeated, where would Zeus imprison him? Tartarus. Where did the Erinyes stir? The Furies born of blood and justice. Near Tartarus. Where did mortals fear to tread even in death? Past Hades, past the Styx, down into Tartarus. It is not hell, it is older. It is not death, it is deeper. It is the floor of existence. And so, as this chapter ends, let us not forget that beneath all myth, all battle, all birth and beauty, there lies a silence waiting to be filled, a depth no light escapes. Tartarus does not speak, but it remembers. And though Tartarus rests in silence now, it is not dormant. Within its dark folds, things stir, ideas forgotten by gods, creatures twisted by solitude, concepts too volatile for the daylight world. It is here that prophecies were once buried, not destroyed, but hidden. Ideas that gods feared, truths that would unravel Olympus itself. If the world above is order, then Tartarus is the vault of all the truths too wild to be allowed. But Tartarus is not merely a grave, it is a vault, and within its silence lie echoes of stories still to come. In episode 17, the abyss will stir once more during the Titanomachy, when the heavens themselves will shudder as Olympians clash with their predecessors. Cronus, once king, will fall as Zeus hurls him into this very pit, along with his brothers and sisters, those who once ruled the cosmos, cast into the same shadows they helped create. Tartarus is the final destination for the unforgivable, not because it hates, but because it endures. It sees gods rise and watches them fall. It houses the forgotten weapons, the locked-away monsters, the truths too dangerous for daylight. Tartarus is not finished. One day those secrets may rise, for even in eternity, nothing stays buried forever. Tartarus waits, and it is patient.